Hi, today we've got Business Spotlight is talking to Tracy Gunn of Platform55. We're going to talk to her this morning on her business and what she's done during the last few years. So Tracy, maybe over to you. Can you maybe tell us what it is you do and for how long you've been doing it?
Yes, absolutely, Kevin, and thank you for inviting me along today. So I'm co-founder of Platform55, and broadly what we do is make workplaces more inclusive for parents. So our founding principle, if you like, is that we want to enable parents to have a fulfilling career and a fulfilling family life without feeling like they have to choose one over the other. So we do that by supporting organizations to support their parents, right from those trying to start a family and on a fertility journey, through taking maternity and paternity or adoptive leave, all the way through then to parents with older children who also, for example, teenagers, etc. So we run a number of different sessions that support them. And most crucially, we also work with line managers as well, because we know they are absolutely key in terms of creating a culture whereby people feel like they can do a great job at work and not have to sacrifice their family life. So that's, I hope that encapsulates what we do. And in terms of how long we've been doing it, so we founded Platform55 last year in June of 21. So, right in the middle of another lockdown there. But I've been working in this area, and my co-founder, we've been working in this area, certainly I have, since 2014. So that's the experience that we bring.
All right, fantastic. And do you work with the companies themselves and the people and you kind of bring the two together type of thing? Is that right?
Yes, that's right, Kevin. So we work with corporate organizations, right from, SMEs up to larger organizations as well. But then the people that we serve are the employees. And just to explain the name, the reason that we're Platform55 is that we provide a platform, and on average, 55% of a workforce are already parents. And that goes up to about 90% when you factor in those who are hoping to become a parent in the future. But Platform55 has a better ring to it, so that explains the name.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I was on your website. Yeah, they were saying you got some interesting statistics there.
Mm-hmm.
So I suppose the benefit for the companies is that they're able to attract and retain good talent.
Yes.
In these days, but which is a big challenge for everybody, and to make it. Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, so who is your best customer, or do you have one yet at this stage?
Well, Kevin, that's like asking me to choose my favorite child. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not going to do that on the line. But what I will say is, I think for me, what characterizes a great customer. So I think there may be some organizations out there who feel like they have to be seen to be offering this support, and therefore it becomes lip service, and it becomes a tick box exercise. Now, thankfully, we don't work with clients like that, but I have come across them in the past. So I think what I love about the clients that we work with is that there's a genuine passion to get this right and to offer this support, and they're not doing it for any PR necessarily. They believe that they're doing it for the right reasons, and that they want people to stay. Right. And of course, as you said, to attract people, but that's not their perhaps driving force. They're doing it because they know and believe it's the right thing to do.
All right. Okay. Fantastic. Okay. And it's a sort of a cultural thing, so that we're looking for that they have a culture of this. Okay. Fantastic. Yes. Well, I don't know if you made any business changes that you consider that COVID-19 made necessary. I suppose when you were launching it, it might have been a slightly different launch to what you've been used to in your previous experience. Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. And in fact, everything took longer than we had anticipated. So, we had to pivot our plans a number of times just to recognize, I think, where people were at and were they ready to, come on board, were they ready to commit. I think our business model had largely been virtually based anyway, hence the platform and that side of things. But we knew that virtual was all we could offer, certainly. Now, interestingly, now we're starting to build in face-to-face sessions as we come out the other side, we can offer that as well. But thankfully, I'd already been working in the virtual space for the last 11 years. So for me, it wasn't too much of a pivot that I had to make, because I was already familiar with Zoom rooms and breakouts and things like that. So that actually helped us in some ways during the pandemic.
All right, fantastic. And all the actions that you have taken in the pandemic, will some of them remain part of your business, or do you see a sort of hybrid version going forward?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, Kevin, and I think this is part of being a business owner, is that kind of responding to what people need and want, because it's constantly changing. So I think there's a few things that I would note. So one of the things that we picked up during the pandemic was a sense of people feeling very isolated, feeling very alone, and almost worrying about how they were performing compared to their peer group. So one of the things that we started to do was to run very informal kind of coffee morning catch-ups. People could dial in and just get a sense of how other people were doing. When we began to hear the value of that from people, we actually built that into one of our core offerings, which is we have monthly coaching sessions, because we see that value of connection. So I think as people continue to work in a hybrid way, I think being able to come together with their peer group is really, really important.
Fantastic.
I think the second thing then, though, is to your point, as we now come out of that, we're hearing that actually people really value physically getting together as well. So that's where the business model has shifted slightly, and that we can respond to that. If a client wants to run something, in-house just for them, then there's some value in doing that as well. And then I think one of the third things is a learning that people like to consume things in different ways. So how they like to access that support. So for some people, they like live sessions. Other people want to listen to a podcast. They want to watch a video like people are doing today. So I think that was another key learning that has come out of the pandemic, and that will stay with us for sure.
Going forward, fantastic. And just so I'm clear, it's the organizations that retain you or pay you for your services. Is that right? Yeah.
Yes, so they pay a membership fee, and that gives them access over a year to a number of different live sessions every month, expert sessions, online content, resources, etc.
Fantastic.
And then we can do other more tailored stuff as well. But the membership is our kind of core offering that we have.
Okay, the membership, fantastic. Okay, what would you say is your biggest learning since you've been a business owner?
Well, I've been self-employed for the last 17 years, so I guess there's been a number of learnings. I think one of the things I've enjoyed the most is being able to, and I'll use that word again, pivot, but to see an opportunity and then think, how could I fulfill this need, or how could I do something with this gap that I've spotted. So I personally find that very exciting, because I like to be creative, and that excites me. But I think beyond that, because being a business owner can be tough at times, and I think when you have a clear sense of purpose and why you're doing something, then I think having that bigger picture vision helps you, or it stops you getting stuck down in the weeds and in the kind of frustrations or the nitty-gritty of some of the business challenges that we have. So I think for me, it's always been about having a very clear purpose. Why am I doing this? What gets me out of bed in the morning? Because there's times over the last few years where I've said there's got to be an easier way to earn money than this, and I could have gone back into the corporate world, but it wouldn't have fulfilled that kind of purpose of why I want to do this.
Yeah, fantastic point to make. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the big things we do in my coaching. Okay, and what would you say is the most inspiring to you today? What would you say is most inspiring for you?
I think the pace I think at which we are kind of changing and evolving. Sometimes that can feel overwhelming, but where I'm at right now is I'm actually finding that quite exciting. So it's challenging me to think differently. So to think, well, actually, maybe somebody doesn't want to attend a 2-hour workshop. Maybe they want to listen to a podcast when they're out walking with their dog, or, you know, with their children. So what does that mean? So I think I find that quite inspiring, to constantly evolve and constantly look at what we've done and think, is this still fit for purpose? So I love getting out myself, looking at what other people are doing, picking up ideas, etc. So yeah, I would find that very inspiring.
Fantastic. So is there any offers you'd like to include in the newsletter?
Yeah, absolutely. So we run monthly sessions as part of our membership, but what we also do is we allow people, so, you know, some small medium enterprises may not have, you know, a huge number of staff. They may just have a couple of people, for example, returning from maternity or paternity leave, or they may have a manager who wants to understand how can they support parents better in the workplace. So we offer individual places on those monthly programs, which people can book on the website. But anybody who's come through your newsletter, Kevin, we'd be very happy to give a 10% discount to on those programs. And I can give you a code to include that, you know, for that, so people can avail of that at their leisure.
Fantastic. Listen, it's been great talking to you, Tracy.